Hello everyone, welcome back to clearQuiz channel. In today's video, we will find which animal's meat is halal and whose meat is haram. Let's see how much you know about halal and haram animals. Let's get started. Eating a rhino is halal or haram in Islam? In Islam, the urine and feces of a rhino is considered najis, or ritually unclean. This is because rhinos are animals with gushing blood and meat that is haram, or prohibited. And what about monkeys? Eating monkeys is prohibited in Islam. And what do you think about a giraffe? A giraffe doesn't have a canine, and it is not a predator. Neither eating its meat will result in discomfort because it feeds on grass. It is then lawful because any animal that habitually feeds on grass is lawful. Is zebra halal in Islam? Yes, zebras are halal to eat in Islam. Zebras are wild donkeys and are considered halal to consume. However, if you catch a zebra to eat, it must be slaughtered properly. Is stag halal in Islam? Yes, stag is halal in Islam. Most herbivores and cud-chewing animals like deer are considered halal to consume. And what about hippopotamus? Think carefully. Yes, hippopotamus meat is considered halal in Islam. Hippos are herbivores that don't eat meat or filth, and they aren't predatory animals. The Prophet, peace be upon him, prohibited eating anything with fangs or talons, so hippo meat is considered halal. Likewise, the hippopotamus is permissible because there is no prohibition in the Sharia, and also because the horse that is on land is permissible to eat according to the proofs. Therefore, the horse of the sea, i.e., the hippopotamus, is more so permitted to consume as a food. Is jellyfish halal in Islam? Jellyfish is considered halal in Islam if any poisonous substances are removed. However, the status of seafood is widely variable, and many scholars consider it haram. This is because less commonly consumed sea creatures like jellyfish are often avoided by those who follow stricter interpretations of Islamic law. And what about whale? Yes, whale meat is halal, permissible to consume. It is clearly mentioned in the Holy Quran. He, Allah, has only forbidden to you dead animals, blood, the flesh of swine, and that which has been dedicated to other than Allah. Is sheep halal in Islam? Most herbivores or cud-chewing animals like cattle, deer, sheep, goats, and antelope are considered halal to consume. Animals hunted by other animals, such as trained birds, are also permitted. Is wolf halal in Islam? No, wolf is not halal in Islam. The Prophet forbade eating the meat of animals with fangs, including wolves. And if an animal that died due to injury is halal or haram in Islam? In Islam, meat from an animal that died from an injury is haram, or forbidden to eat. This is because the Quran prohibits Muslims from eating dead animals. Rabbit is halal, or haram in Islam. All animals that feed on grasses are considered halal. Aside from being part of these peaceful creatures, rabbits are not enlisted among the prohibited animals in the Quran, while rabbits are not just safe but also nutritious to the Islamic diet. There are many narrations that suggest the Prophet, peace be upon him, approved its consumption. And what about a camel? Come on, you can do it. Camels are mentioned in the Quran and are significant in Islam. The Prophet Muhammad recommended camels, and camel milk for various uses, including treating skin diseases. This is narrated that one day the Prophet, peace be upon him, and some of his companions were eating together, and the main course of the food was roasted camel meat. After Samadius, the meal, prayer was due, and the Prophet told his companions, "Whoever ate camel meat should have a fresh ablution." Is pigeon halal to eat? Birds which do not hunt with their claws and do not prey on other animals, rather they merely eat grains and crop, are all considered halal. What about tiger? No, a tiger is not halal in Islam. According to Islamic dietary laws, predatory animals like tigers, lions, falcons, and hawks are not permitted. Predatory animals such as lions, tigers, falcons, and hawks are forbidden as well. However, a person would not be considered guilty of sin in a situation where the lack of any alternative creates an undesired necessity to consume that which is otherwise unlawful, such as a famine. Is eating crow halal? No, eating crows is not halal in Islam. It is unlawful to eat all birds of prey that have talons, including crows. It is prohibited to eat or own crows that consume dead meat. This includes the type of crow called Ghurab al-Abqa that eats dead animals like a vulture. It is unlawful to eat all types of crows as a precautionary measure. And what about horses? Yes, horse meat is considered halal in Islam. There is no clear or firm text in Sharia that prohibits eating horse meat. The Prophet Muhammad is said to have permitted eating horse meat while prohibiting the consumption of domesticated donkeys. And what about hawk? No, a hawk is not halal in Islam. Islamic dietary laws prohibit the consumption of birds of prey, such as hawks, that hunt with their talons. The Islamic prophet also prohibited the consumption of all fanged beasts of prey. Is hen halal in Islam? Come on, it's the easy one. Yes, a hen can be halal in Islam if it meets certain requirements. The hen must be slaughtered in a humane way, without unnecessary suffering, by a Muslim. The Islamic method of slaughtering is called zabiha, which involves cutting the hen's neck without bending it so that the jugular veins are cut and the blood flows out. The hen must be alive and healthy at the time of slaughter. The water used must be free of chemicals or bacteria. Muslims consider halal butchering to be one of the more humane methods in the meat industry. And what about rats? No, rats are not halal in Islam. Rats are considered a pest and are therefore haram or prohibited in Islamic dietary laws. Other land animals without blood, such as most insects, are also considered haram. However, it is permissible to kill rats if they are harmful to humans or the environment. When killing rats, it is recommended to practice ihsan or perfection by killing them quickly to avoid prolonged suffering. It is also recommended to check traps frequently and to keep your home clean to prevent rats from infesting it. And what about snakes? Snakes are not halal in Islam. The Prophet forbade eating any wild animal with fangs, including snakes, because they are considered repulsive. Predator animals possessing fangs are prohibited like cats, dogs, bears, lions, wolves. Narrated. Abu Thalaba, Allah's messenger, peace be upon him, forbade the eating of the meat of beasts having fangs. Eating insects is halal in Islam. Yes, eating certain insects is considered halal in Islam under certain conditions, locusts and grasshoppers. These insects are considered halal and can be eaten alive or dead. Insects that fall into food. If an insect falls into a stew or soup, it's still okay to eat the meal. Insects for survival. If there's no other food available, it's permissible to eat insects to survive. Some animals that are forbidden to be killed in Islam include ants, bees, spiders, and woodpecker birds. Animals that are generally considered repulsive, like flies, lice, and maggots, are also forbidden.